Good morning, Paul. How you doing?
Yeah, very good. Very good. It's nice to see you. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm good. It's hard to believe we're in May now, isn't it? Time's flying by.
Time is flying by. You are right. Yes, yes. Very excited to be in May, not least as I'm on holiday from tomorrow for a week.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, it is that time of the year, isn't it? And
Yeah.
nothing like recharging the batteries, is there?
No, the body battery is okay, but yes, I think you're right. I think a bit of recharging will be handy.
Good, good. And so what have you been up to this week then, Paul? Have you been out and about? What have you been? Where have you been? Have you been abroad? Where have you been
Oh,
this week?
gosh, well, since we last spoke, I had a brilliant time in the Netherlands, visiting a couple of universities as part of my responsibilities for EdCom. That was marvelous, seeing students addressing some student challenges, work-related challenges, one of which was how to market a news service that is on the cards. It's not yet in action, but where a major airline can track your suitcase without you having to have a baggage tag. It uses artificial intelligence, and based on a photograph you take of your suitcase, it tracks your suitcase and gets it to your destination and you to it, which is amazing.
Wow, that's incredible. That is
Yeah.
very reassuring to know because
Well,
we've all been in that
it's,
position.
it'll be reassuring if it works.
Yeah,
But
that's true. That is true because there
so,
is a good
so
chance it won't, right?
it's a good, well, yeah, I guess that's why they're testing
Yeah,
it. I wouldn't want to be the test person, but that's why it's a good marketing challenge.
yeah.
And so that was immense. And then the last week, I've been super busy doing something unusual for me, which has been repeat training. I've been training people from a very large organization how to tell stories with data. And I've been literally training the whole business. So I've done, 16 sessions on the same topic over the last 10 days or so.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how you find different ways to say the same thing and keep it interesting.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But it's been good. It's been very good. So yeah, ask me any question about storytelling with data and I
You know
can
what?
talk on that topic for an hour and a half. So yeah, it's been good. How about you?
Maybe there's a future podcast theme,
Oh,
storytelling with data. Yeah, good with me, Paul. I have been doing we've done a lot of in-person meetings at my organisation lately, and some sort of macro thinking, sort of strategy, KPI building work. So we've got together as a team in person, in real life, and just sticking post-its on walls and boards to kind of really get some shared KPIs across our teams for the year. So really valuable, and actually got me thinking, is there anything better for cross collaboration than a post-it note? You just can't beat putting post-it notes on walls, can you? You know, you can have virtual Miro boards and
yes.
whiteboards and things. I still don't think it does the same job as being in person with a post-it note. Personal preference, maybe, but it's
No,
the real value.
I think you're right. I do enjoy a good post-it note, and there's nothing better than, moving them around and looking at them and voting on them for getting people engaged and aligned. But what I've found really interesting is that it kind of does work virtually, not as well, but it does work virtually.
Yeah,
And a virtual whiteboard is still better than, I don't know, a non-whiteboard in-person session
yeah,
because you get that creativity and flexibility.
I would agree with that. I definitely agree with that. If you can do a virtual session with a virtual whiteboard of some kind, it's definitely better than being in real life and not having any sort of tools or apparatus you can use to kind of shuffle your thoughts around.
Yes. And
100%
it's really
agree.
weird by extension. I was thinking about this, you've got whiteboards, which obviously have that purpose for brainstorming and being flexible and working together and collaborating. And then you've got PowerPoint for when you're presenting a recommendation. You've got the Word document for when you're getting deep into something and perhaps forming an opinion. It's fascinating when you think about the different tools we've got for different scenarios and how they play different roles.
Yeah, it is. And I suppose we're all quite used to them and embedded with them, aren't I? We're quite used to that. We won't want to not many people probably want to deviate from that in terms of what they use. Yeah, it's interesting whether that is the right tool still. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Don't
But
know.
yeah, it's just really nice to be in person. We have got a good balance at the moment of in person and kind of being able to get your head down and get on with the actual work as well. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Good. And what have you seen? What have you been seeing in the marketing world then, Paul?
Well, today's topic is prompted by a couple of recent findings from the Advertising Standards Authority.
Mm.
And as we know, marketeers in the UK have to conform to the advertising standards. But in most cases, not all, but in most cases, that's done retrospectively. So you don't have to clear things in advance in many cases. But if a member of the public, whoever, reports your advert and says they're not happy with it, then you have to be able to make it stack up. And the two examples, which are different but linked in a way, are from Eucerin, the face cream owned by Beiersdorf, the big healthcare company, and Premier Inn, owned by Whitbread. And both of them had ads pulled, and the reports came out just in the last week or so, but for different reasons. So I thought it might be worth just digging into those a bit. Have you seen those rulings, Warren?
I haven't actually. So I'm very interested to see this.
Okay. Well, let's
Yeah.
take Eucerin. So Eucerin, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. I don't use it. But Eucerin put a poster up on the tube, I think elsewhere, and the claim was, let me get this right. I've got the rulings up on my computer. The claim was that they showed a picture of we'll try and get the picture up on the podcast. We had a woman with an area of her face highlighted and large wording said, "Look up to 5 years younger." And the smaller text said, "Product in use has been tested." And then the text beside the bottle said, "Clinically proven." So the claim was that using this cream would make you appear 5 years younger. And somebody complained, and the complaint was upheld. And then we had Premier Inn, where Premier Inn said that basically you could get a hotel room in Edinburgh for £35 a night. And somebody complained and said, "Well, I've tried to do that, and I haven't been at all successful." So that's not really a fair reflection of their prices. Now, what was really interesting, was, let's take the Premier Inn example. How many rooms, or what percentage of Premier Inn rooms in Edinburgh do you reckon are available at £35 a night in a given year? This is my estimate, by the way, based on the information that Premier Inn shared with
Percentage
the
of
advertising
rooms,
services.
of all the rooms they've got in Edinburgh that are priced at £35 across a whole year.
Yeah, because the example, the complaint was for the Edinburgh advert.
I got no idea, if I'm honest.
Tell you what, okay, put it another way.
30%. Spread it
Okay,
out there.
so
Yeah.
what percentage do you think it would be reasonable for you to say, well, that's
Given that
fair
they're
enough?
advertising £35.
Yeah.
I was going to say 100%, but from £35%, 70% more.
60%, 60%. That sounds high
Yeah.
to me, but I suspect it would be higher than the reality. And this is my estimate based on a guess about the rough size of the hotel in Edinburgh. Well, what I can tell you for a fact is that Premier Inn said there were 112 days in the year up to 4th of November 2023 when you could book a hotel room for £35 a night. 112 days. So that means there were over 200 days in the year when you couldn't book a hotel room in their hotel for 35 quid a night.
Right.
And within those 112 days, there were approximately 3 rooms a night at that price. By doing a bit of guesstimation about the number of rooms they've got, it's about 1% of their available rooms in the year were at £35. And the ASA decided that that was insufficient for them to be able to advertise that they could provide rooms from £35 a night.
I'd say
Because
that's
they're saying
fair.
a reasonable consumer would expect to have a better chance of getting a room than 1%.
I love
So,
that.
yeah. Yeah.
I love that someone questioned that and then they pulled that.
Yeah, but interesting, factually, Premier Inns were correct. You could get a room for £30,
Yes, true.
£35 a night. Factually, they were correct. But the advertising standards said, in reality, in real life, you can't make that claim because it's not a reasonable claim. Now, if we take Eucerin, quite interesting, because they basically, the person in the streets takeout of their ad is probably use our cream, and a substantial number of women who've used it are in agreement that you'll look 5 years younger. What do you reckon about that claim?
Well, how many people have they surveyed? What was the score?
60, I think they'd surveyed.
160 people that have used it, and out out of that, how many people said that they look 5 years younger?
Let's have a look. There's quite a lot. They gave quite a bit of information. It was quite, I think it was certainly they could back it up. There was
Yeah,
data where women had used the cream and said, I think I look about 5 years younger. So they could back it up. And I'm thinking,
it's
we all
subjective.
deal with this sort of stuff. It's all quite subjective.
Yeah,
How old do you think I look and how old I think you look? It's all in the eye of the beholder. Seems fair enough. They've asked a
yeah,
bunch of people and they've kind of said, yeah, we look a bit younger. The problem with Eucerin was that they put in the ad the phrase, I'm going to find it now, clinically proven.
uh,
And you've got to be really careful when you're raising the bar to that height. Because if
yeah,
you're saying it's clinically proven, you've got to provide
yeah,
clinical quality level assurance. So you've got to,
yeah,
blind tests with a representative sample, properly reviewed, et cetera, et cetera. So they set the bar too high. So there you've got, I think it might be a claim that a lot of people would probably say it's kind of reasonable.
yeah,
They set the bar too high,
yeah,
and the data they'd got couldn't meet that bar. It could meet a
yeah,
lower bar. So if they'd been a bit more careful, they
yeah,
probably could have continued with that
yeah,
advert. But the point being, I think there's 2 points really. One is that it's great we've got the Advertising Standards Authority there to keep advertising trustworthy, which is super important. And the other is that as marketeers, we've really got to think these things through carefully and apply a human reasonability check on, but also apply a factual check
yeah,
to make sure that we meet both it's reasonable and we can evidence it before we can make the claim.
yeah, yeah. I totally agree. I love that. And also, is it, correct me if I'm wrong, whether the advertising authority is down to someone complaining, right? So someone has to make a complaint about a specific advert for it to be challenged or taken down. But if someone doesn't see said advert and doesn't complain about it, those two adverts could have carried on existing, right? There's no one checking them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my
So,
understanding. Yep. Yep.
so the
Yep.
other lesson for me is make sure we challenge these things as well as kind of consumers, right?
Yeah, I think so. And look, as marketeers, put yourself in the shoes of a consumer.
Yeah.
What they might challenge, ask what they might challenge
Yeah.
before you put it up there. So
Yeah.
just take that care, because the reality is both Premier Inns and Eucerin are going to take a little bit of a hit or a hit on trust as a result of this. It may not be major, but it all stacks up. So obviously
Yeah.
best avoided. And they've wasted money on running campaigns that now need to be binned in the case of Eucerin, or adjusted at least, and that's
Yeah.
going to involve time and money.
Very interesting. I love that. It's a great couple of examples there of really thinking through how you put your ads out there and the perception of those ads, and you can see what the brands are thinking, right? You can see that they're putting them out there to make these bold claims that are going to help sell the product. But all marketers are thinking about what that line is, right? And when they put out an ad, that's the core hook that's going to bring you in. But you have to be really careful about what
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
claiming and how you word it, right? Yeah.
totally. That's this week's
Great.
insight. How about you, Warren? What have you seen in our
Well,
wonderful world of marketing?
I've got to ask you a question. So, are you an Amazon Prime member?
I had a free trial which expired about 3 days ago.
Great. Yeah, I've done that before as well. And do you think, and this is for us to debate a little bit, do you think Amazon Prime is a loyalty scheme?
I'm going to say yes. I do think Amazon Prime is a loyalty scheme.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I never thought of it like that in a way, but I think obviously it is, isn't it? So on the one hand, you've got what you get with Prime is you paid I think $7.99, $89 a month, and you get next day delivery. So I must admit that is a game changer for us as parents when we're doing birthdays and all that kind of thing. It's just it makes the convenience of that makes our lives a lot easier when we need stuff for kids. that's probably a whole separate conversation. But there's that, right? And then you get access to Prime Video, I think, through the subscription as well.
With adverts, but yes.
And with adverts, yeah, with adverts. Actually, what is the value of that TV subscription? Is it as good as the others? I don't know, but it sounds good on paper, right? When you sign up, getting additional access to this. But then on the other hand, my wife tried to, but we order these protein shakes, right? Every sort of 5 to 6 weeks, we have them. It's our breakfast. You're getting an insight into my life here. So we have protein shakes in the morning, and we order them about every 5 to 6 weeks. And so Rach, my wife, went on to order the next batch, and the price was a lot higher than what we normally would order. So it was about £50 compared to sort of the £30 to £40 mark. So what she did was she logged out of her Prime subscription and just went in kind of anonymously to Prime, and the price for the same product was lower. So £35, I think, £35-ish. So my question is actually, does Amazon know the frequency of when it does, or quite obviously, knows how often you're purchasing these things, knows when the demand's going to be high from you to order, and actually when it comes to ordering that, you are potentially being charged more because it knows your user behavior than if you come to that anonymously and it's trying to reel you in. So it just made me question the whole program of it. Actually, are we benefiting from it from a price point of view? And are other people experiencing that as well? I did do a little bit of kind of Googling around it, and does seem to be some other people saying this as well on Reddit forums and things like that. But yeah, it's just interesting. Like, what is the perceived value of joining Prime? Obviously, you can get next day delivery, get access to the TV subscription, but are you benefiting from a price point of view? It's just one to watch. And I just wonder
You're
again about,
wondering if
yeah,
you don't get the best prices because you're a regular customer. So you're not getting the potential new customer deals, basically.
yeah, basically, I think that's it. But you are getting access to this kind of, instant delivery where you'd be paying $5.99 extra to get that, right? Usually, or more maybe. Yeah, I just wonder about the whole perceived value of something. So we all kind of come to that and think, oh yeah, brilliant, we're getting next day delivery, we get access to Prime. I mean, we probably never really watched the TV stuff, if I'm being completely honest with you. Does the kind of convenience of getting something next day, actually, you think in your head, your perceived value of that is greater than actually what it
Well,
is. Actually, if we didn't do that and we operated in a normal world where we were kind of going onto the stores where the shake we order, we get, the brand. If we go on the website for that and actually order there and compare ourselves, would we actually get a similar experience? I don't know.
no. Well, my look, this is interesting. My expectation with Amazon is everybody gets the same prices. And maybe I'm naive and maybe you've discovered something that changes that thought. But if I discovered I'm believing that Amazon wouldn't do that, because if that was the case, that you got
Yeah,
a higher price by dint of being more loyal, then would be exiting in our droves. So maybe that was a
yeah,
glitch in the matrix. But
maybe.
let's find out. Let's see if people have got similar
Yeah,
experiences.
yeah, yeah. And actually, maybe it is just a one-off, or it could be, couldn't it? It's interesting, but I think
Yeah.
I was just comparing it to sort of, I guess it's slightly different because it's a competitive market, but supermarkets and loyalty programs there where you scan your card and you get your membership price for
Yeah.
specific products.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel, obviously you get the next day delivery with Prime, which is an absolutely brilliant benefit, but is it doing enough? I don't know. It's a question.
It's an excellent question. Let's
Yeah.
see if we get any evidence to suggest it might be going on.
Yes.
Fascinating.
What are you doing next week then, Paul?
Next week, I'm doing nothing at all to do with marketing because I'm on holiday. But funnily enough, I was on a hike yesterday and I was chatting to someone and they said, "Oh, I know nothing about marketing." And I said, "Well, what's your favorite brand?" And they said, "Hello Kitty." They love Hello Kitty. They're a sucker for anything with Hello Kitty on it. And I said to them, "Well, let's talk about that." And we had a good chat about how Hello Kitty might work and the licensing and the fact there's marketing behind that, and how, in fact, it's an interesting thing and it's a good thing, and marketing is bringing her something that she loves and enjoys. So Yeah, I won't be doing marketing because I'll be
Mhm.
motorcycling around the Picos in Spain, but inevitably the conversation and my thoughts will turn to marketing. How about you?
Everyone's a marketer, right? Everyone can
Mm.
do it. Yeah. Just a busy, very busy week. Lots going on at our organisation at the moment. So just trying to, lots of projects are coming to a head at the moment. Core part of the project. So it's having my head in all those spaces, but also trying to give yourself the headspace to think about them as well. I think that's when you have big projects all coming to a head, it's easy to get sucked into the day to day, and not see the wood through the trees, right? I'm trying to kind of, where I can, create some space around it to kind of sit back and think how these things come together and how we make sure we get the most out of them. This next period is a crucial period.
Love that. Well, good luck with that. And
Yeah.
we will catch up in a couple of weeks and see how you've got on with those big decisions. I'm sure it'll go fine.
Have a good holiday, Paul.
Thanks,
Have a
mate.
good
Take
one.
care.
Cheers, mate. Bye.